other big topic of the weekend was on the field, and that's what happened on Easter Monday with Jack Ginnivan. Not necessarily the Lightning, but the storm that ensued after the game. And these were a couple of the incidents, and we're about to hear from, in part, some big names in the game, including Laura Kane, and an admission demo from the AFL, which I thought was interesting. Very short after, less than 24 hours later, that at least 2 and potentially more of these free kicks should have been paid.
Yeah, and it wasn't just Laura Kane, it was Andrew Dillon as well. We're going to take a listen to Lee Matthews, Laura Kane and Andrew Dillon on that right now.
There's no doubt Jack Ginnivan is the receipt and the victim of personality umpiring. But the AFL have set up the fire on this. Somehow or other, the AFL have markedly altered the balance between the rights of the ball carrier and the rights of the tackler.
We've assessed all tackles, I guess you could call it, or contests that involve Jack Ginnivan, and it's fair to say that a couple of those probably weren't officiated correctly and we missed a few. What I want to be really clear on is that we don't have a different set of rules for a player, we don't have a different set of rules for a club or a team, and we officiate our games all the same way.
There was a number of occasions on Monday where, when you look at it, after the event, that we didn't get it right, the umpires didn't get it right. Now, what we've also said to Hawthorn and through that to Jack is that if you raise your arms and you throw your head back as well, it does make it harder to umpire.
So it's really interesting because you've got Laura Kane there saying that our umpires do not umpire different players in different ways. And yet Lee Matthews, you guys all know Lee doesn't just throw around terms, called it personality umpiring, Ed. And I know this is something that you're big on, but his point, Ed, was that the AFL have basically created a rod for their own back here and created a system where umpires are almost forced to umpire certain players in different ways.
Well, I suppose the irony is going to be that if he's going to get a free kick, it's going to be against his old team Collingwood on Sunday now, isn't it? So you can be stiff on these situations. But I just can't believe that we're even having this conversation. This was spelled out 12 months ago when he was being umpired completely different to other players. Now, this is an integrity issue. The umpires are there, and I think that we've got to be, we need to know a little bit more about umpires being coached going into games to look for things. They should be there and childlike in their approach to just getting in position. The other thing I think we need to check out is the 4 umpires were supposed to be in position so that the ball came to them. They seem to be still running up and down like they did when there was 2 into 3 into 4. Now, former umpire Steve McBurney, who is a gun lawyer and in integrity in the real world that we live in the state government, is coming back to the AFL umpiring. I think this is a great thing because we're going to talk about drugs and things in sport. The number one part of integrity is the officiating of the game, and this is way out of line, and we're going to put it on notice here on Footy Classified. We're going to have a good look at the umpiring over the next couple of weeks, not to go after the umpiring, but to actually analyse it, because these days are going, the umpire's in the right position and all this sort of stuff. It's bunkum. We actually have to get right on top of these things, and now it's been proved once and for all and admitted that the umpires are looking at a player in a different way to everyone else on the ground. That cannot happen. Cannot happen.
There's 3 elements to this, Ed. You're right. This is the AFL. Then there's, ensuing out of that is the umpires themselves. And then the third issue, which we're going to have a look at here, and you mentioned your pies, Ed, it's also, Jimmy, how the players deal, and I'm talking about opposition players, deal with people like Jack Ginnivan. And this is some vision from Collingwood training about that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's great vision, and this is what we used to do at Geelong. And I can remember coaches going, Bomber Thompson into Chris Scott. Yeah, have an awareness and a forward scout of the opposition you play against. It's all part of your preparation, and we got to put on us. So it's incumbent on us not to go at Jack Ginnivan chest high, because you know he's going looking for it. And if we gave away a free kick high to someone like Ginnivan or another small forward who you know is going to lean into the tackle, the coaches at Geelong would rip our head off. Because you know better than that.
So you have to start your tackle on Ginnivan at the hips, not the chest.
Yeah, because you should be aware that one of his first actions he's going to do, and it's studying your opponent. It's like, if I was going to play on Matthew Lloyd, he's going to beat me on the lead, so I better get out in front. So it's actually studying your opponent. So
dangerous.
Playing
in front of Lloydy.
I'd be 10 metres behind by the time he gets in front. But the point being is, it's part of knowing your opponent, and you shouldn't be throwing your hands up going, he ducked into it. Everyone knows.
He's only 21 years old. He's 45 games into his career. He's already had a rule change against him. And this is how it did look and was worded by the AFL some years ago, 2 years ago, when he's having his first full season in football. And you can just see there, Lordo, how that has changed as the result of him and his style in his second season of football.
Yeah, Laura's right there that there was 2 free kicks. He should have been paid. But I know, Eddie, you probably want to yell down the camera at me here, but I can understand how he's umpired differently because of the pressure he puts on umpires. And I know I can say I put pressure on umpires in a way myself, Eddie, and I had to deal with it for a lot of my career to not expect free kicks because I put so much pressure on the umpires by playing for free kicks. So it's a big test for Jack now to not expect too many, to be honest, because of the pressure he puts on them, and he's got to find other ways to prosper as a footballer.
Yeah, I am going to have a go to there, Lloydy, because I don't buy the pressure stuff on the umpires. They're there. They're grown men and women. They're professionals. They're in the position. Just watch the game. I don't understand why Joel Selwood gets a stand named after him and this kid's getting run out of the game.
He's a better player.
Ridiculous.
He's a better player.
He's played 300 games and won premierships.
We know that, but but it doesn't matter. On the game itself, every player should be treated equally.
Eddie, he played for some of those free kicks that weren't there, Eddie. He played for some in a way where
it doesn't matter.
He did. No, the free kicks weren't there because he initiated it and they weren't there. 2 of them were, but there was 2 that he should have just played the game and given it off, and yet he's playing for the free kick, so he brings a lot of this on himself.
Lloydy, he's allowed to do what he likes. Lee Matthews said that. The bloke with the ball is the most important person in the world in the game of Australian rules football. It's up to the tackler. If he can get a free kick, good on him. That's what it's all about. All this stuff about milking free kicks, it's all bunkum to me. You've got the ball. You should be able to do whatever you want to be able to kick the goal for your team.
But he could also watch Luke Bruce maybe and find other ways. Watch Luke Bruce and find some other ways to score.
But also this whole idea that he's the only player.
That's coaching.
Yeah.
That's coaching. But that's coaching, not umpiring.
Yeah, but this whole idea he's the only player who's being umpired different is wrong, because coaches will constantly highlight players who are key to their side. How many times have we heard after Max Gawn has been stopped and blocked from running to
Jimmy, Collingwood's training already for a game against him on Sunday night.
I get the training bit, but I'm talking about the focus of umpires. They're told every week to zero in on players. I've heard conversations from coaches going to umpires, watch out for this forward from this side. He just pushes people in the back. And what happens in the first 5 minutes? Free kick against. The umpire is zeroed in because things come to their attention.